One thing that I've always lived by is that you can learn something from everybody, no matter who it is,
Oh
how long
yeah.
they've been doing this. Everyone has that one little tip. This trade has given me so much. It's changed my life. I went from not having a career to having a career, having multiple friends, having a future. It's given me everything, and any way that I can help someone else to, whether it's make their job easier, make their job better, or even make them more money. I think that's the whole reason why I wanted to do it too.
Hola, what's up, everybody? My name's Adrian Garcia. Welcome and welcome back to the Reliable HVACR podcast, brought to you by Jobber, my favorite CRM. If you guys need to get organized, better manage your business, Jobber is the perfect app for that. It's on your phone, it's on your tablet, it's on your computer, anywhere you have internet access, and you can invoice, quote, do your maintenance agreements, schedule jobs, get this customer hub where you can interact with your customers, send out reminders. It does so much for your business to help you free up your time at the end of the day. So if you guys want a free trial and discount, you can go to getjobber.com/reliable HVACR. Then we have VETO Pro Pack. I cannot tell you how many bags that I went through before finding out about this company with these high quality bags. If you guys want some good bags, some good tool bags, and really any bag you can think of, go to vetopropack.com. Ever since I've gotten their bags, they've lasted forever. All of our guys at our company have switched over to them. We've gotten them tool bags, backpacks, you name it, because Veto has it. So ever since I switched over, my bags have lasted so much more. I love the variety and the different uses for these bags. I mean, you can get creative with it. So like I said, go check out vetopropack.com. Go look for a bag for yourself. Right now they're having a spring promo. It's basically buy one get one free, so take advantage of that. You won't regret it. Now if you guys are listening to this on audio podcast, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen to it, please leave a 5-star review. I would really appreciate that. If you're on YouTube, make sure you subscribe, like, and comment this video if you enjoyed it, and I hope you guys are enjoying the podcast. I really love doing this. Great way to meet and talk to a lot of these guys, get their stories out. And I appreciate you guys for tuning in and making this what it is. On tonight's episode, we have Logan, the Snow King of HVAC. If you guys want to find him on Instagram, you can find him under Snow King of HVAC. He is the last member that I've been able to get on for the Visionaries, the HVAC Visionaries. So I've been able to catch them all, and I've had them on all individually, getting to know the individuals behind the group that tries to motivate the younger generation, which I think is great, So tonight we have Logan. He's going to talk about working in Colorado, how he got in the business, how he started, got to where he's at now. He's in his early 20s, so doing a lot of good things, and we just talk about, what he's been through so far. So enjoy the show. All right, Logan, how are you, man? How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, brother. How about yourself?
Pretty awesome. Like Ben would say, unstoppable, right?
There you go. Best you can
his
do, right?
That's his new thing now.
Love it.
So how's work been for you right now?
Honestly, it's been pretty slow. It's about 60 degrees outside, so there's not a ton of urgency, but we're staying busy.
Oh, that's good, man. I had the day off. I know I mentioned that right now, but the kids I didn't even realize they had a bad weather day. It's nice outside. This was just like they schedule the stuff ahead of time, so the kids had the day off, and I get to stay behind,
That's sick, dude.
So
You'll have a good day off.
They get a little crazy sometimes. It gets hectic, but still good. It's just that's one of the benefits I get, right? Doing my own thing, my own business, right? I can schedule because like the last couple of weeks was real hectic because I do mostly refrigeration, so it's all like right now it's all ice machines. I know a lot of people that are watching this will know that I've talked about it a lot lately because it's something that I was behind on doing all the ice machine maintenance. I had like 22 to do, and then they just added like 5 more to the list that I got to get to eventually. And then the
How long does
AC
one
main
take you?
a couple on these, a couple hours, because it's a
Nice.
fallet ice machine, so it's not like your typical like Manitowoc or Scotsman that you might see at a restaurant. This is at a hospital. They like the nugget ice, which is like the Sonic ice or whatever.
Yeah.
So you basically run a cleaner through it, and it cycles itself and everything. Like, it doesn't take much to do, but it's the taking out the ice depending on the size of the unit. I actually enjoyed that they kind of condensed them to these tabletop ice machines, because we used to do them years ago, and then their maintenance guys started doing it, and then now all of a sudden they want us to do it again. So I was like, okay, cool, right? So they bought a lot of new ones, and a lot of them are tabletop to where like it's real easy to take apart. Not much ice in there to take out, because you got to take everything out, clean everything, run the cleaner, sanitize everything, and then put it back together, And then
Oh, nice.
water filters.
Nice,
You
dude.
don't do refrigeration, right?
Nah, man, just residential.
Yeah, man. I I just like the variety and the different things that come with the
Yeah.
refrigeration side of it.
Yeah.
And everybody's different. That's the cool thing about the trade, is the different kinds of jobs you can get, the different like commercial,
Yeah.
residential, industrial. Like there's so much stuff.
Yeah, that's one thing that like when like kids are saying like, oh, what do you do? What does HVAC even mean? It's like, man, there's so much you can go into HVAC. Like you said, you can go to industrial, commercial, residential. But then you got your hydronics. You've got
Oh yeah,
your ceiling units. I mean, there's just so much you can get into.
yeah, man. And we'll get into all that. But today is Monday. It is the day after the Super Bowl. I did see, I think it was in like an Instagram story. You're a Chiefs fan, right? You're all geared up Chiefs.
Yeah, dude.
So
Yeah, I'm from Kansas City.
you're a happy camper now, aren't you?
Yeah, dude. I mean, back to back. I mean, what can you really say?
I forgot about
Yeah.
that. I was like reading or looking at this at the like, because I always get on my app and read all the stuff, and I was like, oh yeah, they did win last year, because I don't keep up with football. Like, I'm not in it like that.
I'm from Kansas City, Missouri,
Kansas
actually.
City. Okay,
Yeah.
so that's
Yeah, I
your home
mean,
team.
yeah, I love the Chiefs. I'm not like a super diehard football fan. I'm not gonna
Okay,
like, argue with people and stuff like that. I could really care less, but at the same time,
okay.
it's cool because for a long time the Chiefs weren't very good. So now they're
No.
actually making moves the last couple of years. It's cool.
Okay, well that's interesting, because you're up in Colorado now, right?
Yeah, yeah. I'm in Denver. I'm actually in Westminster, which is a suburb of Denver. About 15 minutes from downtown Denver, so got quite a bit of reach.
So then, what kind of or where do you service more? Because I had mechanical environments on here
Yeah,
not too long ago, and I want to say that they stuck to like the city, and they were like, we stay away from the mountains and stuff like that.
yeah. So we'll go like into the foothills quite a bit. For everyone that's listening that knows Colorado, we'll go maybe as far as Evergreen. Really not quite that far, but probably about 30 minutes, 40 minutes from where we're at. Usually we like to keep it within an hour because really once you start getting to like an hour and a half, unless it's some kind of like big ticket. I mean, it's hard to really make good money, especially like what they mentioned in your podcast. Like, there's not a whole lot out there. We sure get up in the mountains, but it's a lot of like custom homes, really really beautiful houses, but yeah, there's just not a whole lot out there as far as like getting materials and stuff. And it's quite a bit of driving, especially like once you start getting into it's like the dead of winter right now. There's a lot of snow up there, so I mean these front wheel drive Ford vans won't get around too good.
Yeah, man. So you said you do residential mostly, right? So
Yeah.
you're within like an hour radius, yeah, so to speak. And that's funny, because I do commercial, and that's a whole other different aspect of that, because I take 2-hour drives sometimes to get to these customers, and that's a normal thing for me.
Yeah.
Like a few weeks ago, I had to head, because we have 2 different customers about an hour and a half away from where I'm at, and I was going there like several times a week to do different calls, and like that's a normal thing for me. I like the drive. That's something that I actually like.
Yeah.
crank up the music or put on a good podcast and just,
Yeah.
drive out into the sunset.
Yeah, I mean, I don't get when people say they hate the drive time, 'cause I feel like that's like the easiest money. Or especially for me working for somebody, it's like I'm still getting paid the same whether I'm on something or I'm driving. Windshield time is easy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, some people don't like it. Like I'm sure like Jeff Jadem on
Yeah.
Instagram. He hates it. Like that he loves being in one place and just knocking out
Yeah.
install, and being there and kind of taking his time, and because he's one that's actually done service.
Hmm.
And he's like, nah, you guys are awesome. Hats off to you guys. That's just not for me. I hate driving.
Yeah.
I hate running around. He likes being, there for half a day or a day or whatever it
Yeah.
is. And I'll give him credit. He makes those installs like
Yeah.
worth the time,
And at least for me too, like being a tech, I feel like I use like my drive time as like calling up my people, seeing what they're up to, what they're doing, listen to some kind of, like you said, podcasts. Usually I'll use that as like, I don't want to be on my phone or anything, but calling up the parts house, seeing if they have it in stock, all that good stuff. So, it's not like just dead straight, driving with nothing on and, in the
Yeah.
silence, it's getting stuff done too at the same time. So, yeah, I don't mind it at all. So.
Yeah, I'll take phone calls on the drive, and then like I said, if I'm listening to something, it's because I want to decompress, relax on my next to my next call, or like I said, on the phone, setting something up, scheduling something, all that kind of stuff. And then yeah, so I get a lot of windshield time, so
Mhm.
I try to
Nice.
take advantage of it too. Yeah, man. So I'm actually we're talking about the Chiefs and all that. I'm more of a basketball fan,
Yeah.
so like I'm all for that. You being from Denver, I remember the Denver Nuggets. They used
Yeah.
to be really good. They were bad for a while, and now they're the defending champs again. So, there's that going on too. I don't know if you're into basketball or any other sports.
I'm not super hard into basketball at all, but like the Denver parade that they have was like mayhem, dude. It was
Oh, really?
crazy. Yeah.
How was that?
Um,
Were
I mean,
you
it was
out for that, or did
no.
you stay home?
Oh yeah, no way, dude. I stayed home because it was like crazy. I mean,
I
there's
was gonna say,
you had like
does it
yeah,
get
downtown
crazy?
Denver's pretty wild sometimes. As far as like people just I don't know. Anytime you get a large group of people from just
Yeah.
everywhere, everyone can show up, man. Crazy stuff always goes down. So definitely wasn't out and about for that one.
Yeah, I'm always curious about that because I'm from a small town area. We don't get that. I'm getting a little worried because our city is growing like so much to where
Yeah.
it's becoming a big city, and I don't know how I feel about it because I like being out, away from everything, and it being calm, all that. Like that's what I like. And they're redoing our highways or adding so much stuff in because I live by the border here in Texas. So
Mhm.
we get a lot of shoppers from Mexico. I mean, it's
Yeah.
cool. They spend all the money. They spend a shitload of money over here. So I know why they cater to them, but like I really like being alone. That's why right now I actually moved out of the city like pretty far,
Mhm.
and I'm enjoying the country life now.
Yeah.
that's
I
just
used to always hear
that's
the
just how I
roosters
am.
in
Oh,
your live streams. Always the roosters. I love that, dude.
that's not those are not mine. Those are the neighbors. I have roosters on one side. I got cows on the other side.
Nice.
We here have goats in the front. I don't know. It's always something, man. There's always
Yeah.
mayhem outside.
Yep. I'm from a pretty small redneck city, so back in Missouri, man, I grew up like outside the city limits, and you could ride four-wheelers in our backyard. We had like little trails we'd ride on. We'd shoot guns whenever we want. So I love that life because at the same time, like the big city is nice because you're gonna get more business, more opportunity. There's just more
Oh yeah.
people, different restaurants and stuff. But at the same time, those small town cities are really nice. Just being away from people, especially if like something were to ever happen, there's so many people, everything can go turn to mayhem pretty fast. So I don't blame you at all.
Yeah. And and it's crazy because before, I mean, like you said, it's good for business. Right now, there's
Mhm.
the chains, because we deal with a lot of like fast food chains and restaurants, and they're constantly building new ones here. So we in the last year have gotten like 3 or 4 new locations with one customer because they just pop up now. And that's good for business. That's good for us for work. I remember
Yeah.
back in the day, like we used to drive out quite a bit of ways, like 20-30 minutes to get to one restaurant that was like not near us, right? To get to like an Olive Garden or
Yeah,
whatever it
right.
is that we're trying to get to. And now we got several of them. It's grown so much. It's crazy to kind of
Yeah.
think back on that. And then just going back to the windshield time, like for us as a business, like you said, you're working for somebody, you're getting paid no matter what, right? So you could,
Yeah.
I mean, that's all paid for you. On a business standpoint, I had to, because me and my dad kind of struggled with that in the beginning, knowing how to charge and all that for anything. That's all billable time too. Anybody listening and watching, make sure you bill the trip. I
Yeah.
start my time, way before I get there, because that's a trip to get to the job site. That's billable time. Because I had
Yeah.
somebody on, well, his episode's coming out this week, but we recorded
Mm.
a couple weeks ago. And we talked about that too. Like there's so many I think he called it non-billable hours
Yeah.
in this trade, because we do so much getting there, getting the parts, all this
Totally.
stuff that the customer doesn't see. And that's why when I do a meme like for that $2,000 capacitor, I'm joking, but like a
Yeah.
lot of people get upset about that. And
Yeah.
it's like, and that one's kind of funny because it's like, what do you want me to do? I'm not going to go there for like $20, like
Yeah.
there's other things that go into it. I have it on the truck. The drive getting there, my truck needs to be insured. Our techs need to be insured,
Yeah.
and like all this stuff. So all
Yeah.
that's billable. Anybody listening and watching, just that's
Yeah.
something that we struggled with. And I'm doing a lot of these. I'm going to be on some other podcasts, and then I got the jobber thing that I'm doing. Like we're trying to push the business side of it. So that was just like fresh in my mind. I just wanted to get that
Yeah.
out there.
Yeah, totally. And have a little good cushion. Not every job's going to go smooth every single time. You got to have a little bit of cushion there in case something does go wrong, because
Yeah,
it does happen.
that's another question he asked, or when we're talking about that. And this was Josh from HVAC Guide. He was like, he asked me about a quote or something, and I was like, well, if I charge, like we charge per hour. I don't know if you guys do like rates
Mhm.
or like flat rates for anything like capacitors and things like that, or do you
Mhm.
charge the time?
Yeah, so pretty much how we have our pricing is so we'll call it parts house because a lot of the times we're not going to do a whole lot of universal stuff because we're just not huge fans of like universal motors and stuff. Like we'll have like rescue
Yeah.
motors every now and then, but usually we'll try to go OEM every single time. And so how we price it up is we got our part, and then we'll do our personal markup for having our licensing to actually get it and all that good stuff, and then also our time to do it. So we do have a flat rate for our hourly labor. We build that all together, get that to the customer. That includes time to go pick it up, come back, put it in, a 1 year warranty on the part in case something does happen. Quality control's been pretty horrible the last couple of years.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we've got all that built into one price. And when, customers do ask us like, oh yeah, can I get a part breakdown on it? It's tough because, we do have our insurance built into that, our gas, our
Okay.
training. Cause my boss is really, really big on training. Probably one of the
Yeah.
best things about my company is that no expense at all to training. Like he will send us to whatever training we need to, whatever comes up. It's like cool, let's do it. Paid full company, let's all go to it. Type
Awesome.
of stuff. So we have a lot of things like that. So whenever customers do ask us like, hey, break it down, just like, listen, you're gonna have to call in for that. I can't really help you with that. This is the price if you want it done. And at the same time too, I try to make sure it's like, hey, if this something happens this part, don't worry, we're not going to run away, like we've got your back, so don't worry about that. So if that's what you're worried about as far as like the warranty and stuff, like all that's going to be taken care of. We're not going to be the company that's like, you're never going to be able to get a hold of us. You call us one time, we're gonna pick up, we're gonna get it handled for you too. So
That's that's the thing, and I have a lot of those. Well, you brought up a lot of good points as to like the things that I was thinking about, or the conversation I had with Josh. Like you brought even more things up, like all that gets factored into our pricing, and it's like, I mean, the main thing is the convenience, right? Like we'll get you going the same day or whatever it is. Like you're not going to wait. A lot of people talk about Amazon. I'm like, you're gonna wait a few days for that to come in, unless you live in a big city like over there in California or something, where you have your own Amazon warehouse there. I was like, we don't get that shipping here. I'm in Texas. It's hot as hell. Do you want it fixed right now or not? You know.
Totally.
But that's the hard part, and that's another thing I struggled with in the beginning, because I had customers that were like, you know, asking for a breakdown, which is not too hard for me, because like we do bill like per hour, per part, all that. Like it's already built into the way we do things. But I had those customers that were asking me, what did you buy it for? Or because I dealt with some landlords and stuff a couple times, and they're like, okay, show me the wholesale price. I was like, what the hell for?
Yeah, totally. Like, I'm sure you have it too. I mean, probably not with commercial, but like we'll sometimes have customers that'd be like, "Hey, look, I found it right here for this price." Like, especially like capacitors. You know, a lot of capacitors are cheap, but we do the global source universal capacitors. So, you know, I always sell the fact that like, hey, it's American made. This isn't gonna be your average capacitor that you're gonna walk into and, you know, just buy it offline or something. This is a good product. So I think I do a pretty good job as far as like, this isn't gonna be your average product. Or say that something simple like you know, igniter. Well, you know what's also going to be included in that? We're going to be taking static. You know, we'll even pull out the combustion analyzer. We pull an analysis on it. So it's like, I'll usually try to sell more things than, hey, you're just getting a part swap. You're going to be getting your 1 year warranty. So I usually try to do my best as far as like building more than just a part swap on it. You know, and a lot of people I think take that pretty well. It's like, well, you know, I probably wasn't going to be doing all that. So, you know, if they don't want to do it, then it's cool, man.
Yeah, I was gonna say the ones that are like the ones that actually think about it understand it, because you're selling, like, even myself, I work on my car, I work on like stuff around the house, but like to a certain point, because then you need somebody that comes in and knows what they're doing, and then like you said, if anything goes wrong, you know, you call them back and they'll fix it for you for warranty and stuff. And those global to source, the AMRAD capacitors, I've been getting into those too now.
Yeah.
And I need to look for the video, because I can't remember who posted it. It was one of them. The insides of the capacitors, right? What they're made out of, what they put in theirs versus the cheap ones, and it's a big difference. And that's why they cost a little more, right? But they come with that 5-year warranty and all that. And all that is just like the communication to the customer too. So you have that down pat, where you can present yourself and just be upfront with them. Like, you know, you're getting this, this, and this, obviously. And I told them the same thing. You know, if it doesn't work, call me back. I'll come back. I'll make it right. Because a lot of people here, I'm sure you've run into it too. There's companies that go and do something, and then they run and hide, right? And that's why these customers they have trust issues, because of these companies out here, you know. Man, that was interesting. But you know what else is interesting? This podcast is presented by Local. Local works tirelessly to help HVAC contractors rank higher on Google. They use an attack methodology to make sure that contractors dominate their local service areas and increase their market share and generate higher revenue. Reach out to Local at localhq.com/reliable. Mention me or the Reliable HVACR podcast, and you'll get 2 months of SEO for free.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how Texas is, but like Denver, I think, I don't know what the statistic is, but Denver's got like one of the highest square miles to company ratio. Like, so Denver's got the biggest Johnstone either in all of America, I think. So it's a massive Johnstone. You'll go there and there'll be 60 different company trucks there. I mean, there's hundreds of companies here in Denver. So it's like, honestly, I do hear nightmare stories from customers like, yeah, you know, this guy just installed it last week. I can't get a hold of him. Like, oh my God, he installed it backwards. You know, like, oh, did he know that this was a downflow that he installed and this is an upflow application? So, I mean, I totally get that. So it's pretty bad here though.
And I deal with like a lot of simple stuff, what I consider simple. It's like light commercial stuff. That reminded me, I had because there's a certain pizza joint that they have like a list of companies, right? We are the top priority, but like every certain area, right, of like 4 or 5 of them, they have their own, they can call whoever they want, right? If we don't know, if they don't know us that well, they might call another guy who's a buddy of theirs, or something like that. There's always something that happens where another company comes in and kind of mixes in with us, which I hate, because then it's like, who did it? Who are they going to blame for it and all that?
Right.
So we try to answer all the calls, but every now and then a secondary company will go out or whatever it is, right? It happens. I went to a call because it felt stuffy. The vents, I think, were dripping water and all this other stuff, right? And I go check the usual, the belt, the make sure the unit's running and all this stuff. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? Like, it was just so weird to me. And I was like, I'm not getting any airflow. So then I thought like something was going on with like some leakage in the duct and stuff, because
Right.
it was just acting very strange. Then I was like, okay, let me just go back to the basics. Let me take apart all the panels and look at it and figure it out. Then I looked at the blower wheel. This is a commercial rooftop carrier unit. And I was like, no way, right? I shut off the I had shut off the disconnect already. And when the blower like slows down, I started noticing that it was going in the wrong direction. I'm like, no way. So I go and check the arrow, and I'm sure enough, I don't know how they messed it up, because the wires are color coded and they put them reverse. So if you reverse any of the wires on a 3-phase,
it runs
it
backwards.
goes the opposite direction. And I'm like, okay, just wired it back up and it got it working. So I was like,
Nice.
What company was out here? Because that was not us at all. So that just reminded me of that, because I was like, yeah, I've seen stuff. I've seen some weird stuff out there, these companies.
Dude, I don't know how. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, that's how I was getting my work for a long time. It's just like people getting tired of these companies calling us and be like, look, like that, right? Not getting units working, or coming to put refrigerant every month and getting billed for it.
Yeah.
I was like, no, that's a leak. Let me look for it, right? I fixed all their leaks. A lot of weird stuff.
Yeah, man. I mean, I was just gonna say that, like, I don't know how some of these guys go in every day to work and run all these calls and like have no idea what they're doing. Because I mean, like, I don't know how it is for you, but sometimes when you're stressed out and you're having an issue, it's like, oh man, that call, I could have handled that differently, or could have done this or that. I don't know how some of these guys are running call to call to call, and then just like running blowers backwards, and I mean, it's crazy, especially like out here in Denver, dude. It's the Wild West, dude. It really is.
I think customers are just too nice sometimes, and then by the time I get there, right? Because I'm the second or third company that goes out, they're already pissed off at that point, right? So then I gotta deal with it, and I'm like, why did you let them get away with everything, right? Like, then they want to keep track on me, and I'm like, no, I'll take care of it. But and that's why we get some of these customers that are very like upset, right? They've been paying all this money and it didn't work, or whatever the story is. By the time I get there, they're already pissed off, and I got to deal with that.
Get it.
Yeah, I get it too. That's why I think when I was younger, I didn't like it, but like after a while, I'm like, okay, I get it. They called us out. We got to build that relationship. We got to show them that we're going to do it right and all that. And then after that, they're all super happy. It's a customer that we've earned, and then more work for us.
Yeah, totally.
And then like Josh, who I had or coming on this week, he was giving me statistics. So like you said, yours is the most per square foot for the companies you have.
I think it's one of the highest. Honestly, I don't know the statistic specifically. I know that like it's what people say, and obviously I believe it because you pull up Johnstone and there's 50 companies there, and tons and tons of vans. So
which is wild because I go into mine. I think I see like 5 at a time. Most
really. Yeah, I mean,
but I don't know. Maybe they go to a different one.
Yeah,
because we have a Johnstone that I go to, and then there's like a whole strip of like supply houses. So like, I mean, we have this one city that just has everybody, all the supply houses, all the manufacturers. They're all in that little area, so it's not hard to get anything here. But what Josh had told me was that Texas was the state with the most licensed contractors, and he said way more than California and Florida combined. So I was like, holy crap. So I was like, but I told him there's a whole other thing to it, because I know there's companies that, because it's when you get your license, I don't know how it is in Denver. It's just book smart. Do you guys have a license?
Yeah, so
Like,
we've
is that it?
got
Because every
yeah,
state's different.
yeah, so you can get your mechanical license here, but we don't have like apprenticeship,
Oh,
journeyman,
okay.
master. So all you can really get is going to be um, your mechanical license. So Denver County has probably the most strict requirements. I don't know the exact number, but I know it's you gotta have like I think like maybe like 10,000 hours of supervised work, and so Denver's like super strict. So anytime you go to Denver, you're gonna pull a permit. They're to the T. You know, you have to be. They're very strict on what they want. As soon as you go outside of Denver and you go to like where I'm at, like Westminster, Broomfield, Arvada, I mean like they'll vary. So you'll jump like you'll go. It's the visions are so weird because you'll go across the street and now you're in Arvada, and then they're gonna have a completely different code and what they want compared to like say Broomfield or Westminster. So the code does bounce around quite a bit, but as far as like licensing, you don't need anything in these counties. You need to have insurance and you're good to go, which is that's kind of part of our problem because you're just gonna have some guys. I mean, a lot of work out here isn't licensed either, which blows my mind. And when I say license, I mean like some guy put it in, or some
Yeah.
guy's been working on it. A lot of homeowners try to work on their own stuff, which I'm sure is probably everywhere. But we'll have HVAC guys come around and try to do work.
Yeah, like Megan from Mechanical Environments was like, her favorite
Yeah,
saying was like, a chuck in the truck, put it in, right? They dealt with that a lot
dude.
too.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a thing, and we get that too. But when Josh had told me that we have the most licensed contractors, I'm like, that doesn't mean too much, right?
yeah.
Because to me, I know that, because like you need like 4 years experience with somebody, and all this other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's very easy to get a license, because let's say somebody, all they have to do is sign a paper and say, okay, you're
Good
experienced,
to go. Yep.
and then you go take the test, and the test is just book smart. It's an
Yeah.
open book
Study.
test, and as long as you looked it over several times, you can
Mm-hmm.
get it. The hardest part is that it's timed, right? I
Yeah.
ran out of time the first time I took it, and I underestimated it. I was like, holy crap. So
Yeah.
that was the hardest part for me, because I would rush the last answers, and I
Yeah.
always missed it by like 2 or 3 questions. So it took
Yeah.
me like 3 tries to get it.
Yeah.
But whatever.
I don't have my mechanical license, but I've taken a class on like your mechanical license, and it's just studying where you can
Oh
find
yeah.
it. So they're gonna ask you like how big is your opening to be for an attic, or how close does your furnace need to be to the access. So as soon as you learn how to find what you need, I mean you can pass it. So you spend like a couple good weeks studying. I'm sure you can probably crack
Which is crazy, because I don't remember half the stuff that I answered in
it.
that test, and I knew it like the back of my
Yeah.
hand for that test when I took it.
Yeah.
Uh, and it's a lot of codes, and all this.
Yeah.
I want you to memorize all that stuff. And but yeah, it's simple to get if you
Yeah.
try. And what a lot of companies do here, because I talked to somebody up north and stuff, is that, and I've seen it here too. Like, if you get a license, or if you have a business, you don't necessarily need a license. You just need somebody that works
Hmm.
for you that has a license, right? Because it covers a company.
Yeah.
So there's people that do that, and the people they maybe can buy a license from too is like, let's say I wanted a license, but I didn't want to do the work. I could just sell my license or rent it out to somebody, and that's a
Yeah.
thing, right? Then that
Hmm.
company is licensed because of me. So I was like, that's probably what's going on. If we have the most licensed contractors, is that there's a whole side hustle thing going on there, where just get the license and then rent it out,
Yep.
which is
Isn't that
which is
crazy?
unfortunate. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we deal with that too, with the whole people that are not licensed, because and a lot of them get away with it here, because they'll hire somebody as their quote unquote maintenance person, right? And they have free reign to do work on their own equipment. So
Mm-hmm.
I've dealt with a lot of restaurants, it's funny, because the more money that they have, because I knew one that was like a millionaire or something, like he was from another country. Dude was rich as hell,
Yeah.
fought every invoice that we ever had for them, because we took care of the restaurants. And I was like, dude, come on, we did honest work, like we're just billing per hour, all our stuff.
Hmm.
fought every invoice, and we had to kind of part ways from that one. But like his his thing was like, I can just get a maintenance guy, in which he did, and they try to do the work for them, and that's how they get away with it. They do their own. Those guys end up doing their own installs or change outs. Like they
Yeah.
try, and then like after a certain point when it's like, oh shit, we fucked up, then they call us
Yeah.
back.
Yeah, that blows my mind.
Yeah, man, it happens more than you'd like it to.
Right.
That's why, and like I know you mentioned that there's a lot of companies. Like I see it too. Now, do they last? I don't know, right? Here, there's an influx that I'll see new vans out. I'll see new companies pop up. And then after a year, I don't see them anymore. I'm
Right.
like, I'm out there enough driving around that I should see their van pop up, and I just
Yep.
don't see them anymore. So I don't think these companies last.
Hmm.
Unfortunately, and they're probably those ones that you say that just run and hide. They go swap a part out and they go and hide and stuff. And it blows my mind too. And I'm like, how did you paid them after all that? Like,
Yeah. I
and
mean, some of them are one lawsuit away from,
oh yeah,
no longer being around. So it's like, really they're
I,
pretty
I've
close to the
I've
edge.
I've heard of some that like blow up compressors and crazy stuff. And I was like, and they're still in business. Like,
Or yeah,
they're
or
they're
even kill
walking
people,
that
dude.
they're walking that fine line.
Yeah. Like I said, even kill people, man. I mean, like gas fired appliances, man, they're pretty simple stuff, and for the most part they're safe. But as soon as you don't glue a joint, or you don't glue it properly, I mean you're really putting someone's life at risk. One of the big stories out here in Denver, which everyone that is from Colorado probably knows the story about, up in Vail, which is like a big ski town. There's a family that actually died because the contractors, and the story does bounce around a little bit, from person to person, but the story is that these contractors, middle of winter, they did a 90% furnace in the attic, and the venting fell apart because the glue wasn't rated for the cold temperatures. So the glue didn't actually work. The venting fell apart and actually killed the whole family. So it's like, some of these guys really don't realize like what they're dealing with. You have one bad burning appliance.
Yeah.
I mean, I come across boilers all the time that, end up getting shut down, that are putting out 3,000, 4,000 ppm. I mean, that'd kill you so fast that it's not even funny. And it's just like some of these guys really have no clue what they're doing. They don't realize how serious like their hack jobs could be. It could be someone's life, fast.
No, it's crazy because I say the same thing, because even like when I do my little memes, right? They get a lot of attention from homeowners
Right.
that want to do their own work. And I'm like, okay, well, there's leaks, right? Gas leaks and stuff like that. Because
Hmm.
I showed off a little gas leak detector one time. There's gas leaks that's deadly. There's refrigerant leaks. If you try to mess with that, you're gonna burn the crap out of yourself, lose
Yeah.
a hand and whatnot. And I've heard of one. Well, I would always get told to be careful with capacitors, right? I've never had
Mhm.
one like hurt me, harm me, or anything like that. I always discharge them. I don't play
Yeah.
around with the capacitors, because I've been told
Right.
by my teachers and stuff when I was going to school, like horror stories, right?
Right.
And then like homeowners now, they're like, oh, it's a $10 part. I'll do it myself. I know how to do this and that. And I'm like, do you, right? Like, are you trained?
Yeah.
I know it's simple, but there's other reasons why the cap gave out too, right? And there could be
Yeah.
other factors. That I just said that because it reminded me, there was a homeowner in my TikTok that was like, that's a $13 expense every year. When it gives out, I just go buy a new one. I was like, how many
Right.
capacitors have you gone
Yeah,
through,
you can
dude?
go through it.
I was like, that's not normal. And he's like, oh,
Right.
you're just an HVAC tech, being an HVAC tech, sit down or something like that. I was like, all right.
Yeah. Okay,
I
dude.
was like, you could kill something else down the line, but by all means.
Yeah.
But no, I heard of one recently on another show, because I will never sell parts to people, right? That's not what I do. I don't want the liability either.
Mhm.
There was one that I had heard of where the guy sold a capacitor to a homeowner, right? It was after hours. He's like, he didn't think anything of it. The homeowner died because there was some funky stuff going on with the disconnect. It was bypassed and
Yeah.
all this other stuff. The dude passed away, and the technician felt horrible. Went back and actually worked on the unit to help out the family, but geez, man, like that's
What
like
does that
worst
mean?
case
And what
scenario.
they don't have cooling, and so and so died. Like, I think that's the least of their worries. But that's crazy, man. Yeah,
Yeah.
like you'll come across a breaker that's bad, or
Well,
not even bad, but like mislabeled. They think they turn it off.
oh
It's
yeah.
not off. You ground yourself out on 240. Oh, good luck, man. That's if you can't pull away, it's not gonna be great.
And I have all that experience too, right? I'm like, well,
Yeah.
it might not be the capacitor that's hard to do or get to. It's something else down
Mhm.
the line, right? Like I said,
Yeah.
the whole getting shocked essentially. I've been shocked so many damn times. I hate that
Yeah.
feeling. So now I double check, triple check with my meter, all that stuff before I
Yeah.
even touch
Same.
anything. So
Same. I don't know if I'm
homeowner,
paranoid, but I got
yeah,
I got
homeowner
shocked
doesn't think
one time
about
with
that.
240. I was check. Exactly. Exactly.
No, it sucks. Yeah.
Yeah. I always check my meter. I got shocked one time with 240. I was like, dude, that was not fun. So like I'm always paranoid. So I always check my meter right before I touch it. Like, okay, cool, we're good to go.
Yeah, and that whole thing with it being bypassed has happened to me too. I think I turn it off and I'm like get a little wake up right there with a shock, and I'm like, oh shit, I gotta go check that. Or
Yeah.
there was one that some of the stuff is just wired weird by a previous company, right? And then
Right.
they don't tell you, or they're like, oh, that's a temporary fix, but they leave it like that. You never know.
Yeah. And for all my people listening, don't use those widow makers. I'll tell you, they call them a widow
Nah.
maker for a reason. I mean, if you have a meter, use your meter because I remember one time it was just 120, but I was checking with my widow maker. I don't even know what they even call them, just like the little tester. And
Yeah,
sure enough, dude, it was green, good to go. I got to touch it, and yeah, it's don't trust those things.
I've heard that. I've never liked using them,
Yeah,
but I'm real paranoid. I always check the actual voltage. But yeah, I've
yeah,
heard just do not trust those things.
yeah. Don't trust them. Throw it away.
All right, man. So I got to meet you at the award show, and
Yeah,
it was cool because I got to run into you a few times, got to talk to you. Uh,
yeah.
I love what you're doing. You seem like a really cool guy. I wanted to have you on the show and come out here. What did you think of the award show, the tactical award show there?
Honestly, man, I think that it was honestly incredible, man. It was super humbling. You'd be able to meet all of the other people in our field, and especially like the people that are on social media. Like before, I was doing HVAC, and didn't know that this community existed. Everyone in this community is so upbuilding, so cool, so helpful. I mean, there's no hate from anyone, in our community for the most part.
Yeah,
And it was so cool to meet everyone and put faces to everyone. It feels like uh, I've known everyone for a long time, and
yeah.
I think even Adam said that on the podcast, but it's so true. Like being able to meet everybody, it was honestly super incredible. Um, it was sweet. I can't wait to go back to next year for sure.
Yeah, I was so upset that I missed the pre-show, the cocktail hour and all that.
Yeah,
And like after the show, I got kind of bombarded with everybody because I was like, everybody thought I had missed it, and I was like, no, I was there. Showed up
yeah,
last minute, uh, to get on stage and everything. But that's awesome. That's my favorite part of the whole trip is getting to
mm,
talk to everybody, right? So after we did the show, I was dying in that seat though because I've been sitting on an airplane for so long,
yeah,
and then like having to sit through the show. So I was so happy when it was over,
yeah,
and then we got to all hang out and talk. Go
yeah.
to the after party, the official after
Hmm.
party,
The GE.
and like I said, yeah, and like I said, I got to talk to you, talk to the other guys, and it was a great event.
Yeah, dude,
And
honestly, like it was super awesome seeing you win too, man. I've been listening to the podcast for a long time. I was rooting for you hard, dude. I don't know if you saw me, but I was sitting right across from you, and I had to turn my back to actually look at the stage. I think you did too,
oh
because you were sitting
yeah, yeah,
backwards to
yeah.
the stage too. So I kept like turning around and looking at the stage. You're like, oh, there's Adrian, dude.
Yeah, man, because well, I got the last seat, which they gave me the one that was my back to the stage, but it was cool, and then all the people you get to sit with too.
Yeah,
Uh, I got to sit with Mike Mayberry and
yeah, I saw that.
Eric Kaiser and a lot of good dudes there too. And then, give me a second. we had on the table the what is essentially the show catalog. It's like the magazine that Ben
Mhm.
does. This one's specifically to the award show. And oh, we have your little what is it, like a centerfold piece, little page that you
Yeah.
have in the award catalog. So if you guys have the catalog or see it, uh, go to this page. They're not numbered, but Logan has all his information. HVAC Visionaries, Snow King of HVAC. You're only 23. That is crazy.
Yeah.
And here you're. Oh, that I was gonna ask you your hobbies: snowboarding, skateboarding, and making cold people warm. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah. Or
I don't
making
know
them cold when it's summer.
when it's summer. I don't know about that Linux part. I don't know about Linux, but everybody has their
Commercial,
preference.
never worked on Linux commercial, but I haven't heard great things. Residential, pretty solid, dude. They're pretty solid.
Okay, because I was gonna say I worked on a few commercial ones. They're not all bad, but there's a few that I was like, what is this?
Right.
Um, yeah, but that's awesome, man. You got your own little page there. I was fortunate to be in the first one, and it's a really
Yeah.
cool thing to see yourself in a magazine.
Dude, it honestly like took my breath away. Whenever Ben told me that I was in it, dude, I was starstruck, dude. Like I've never thought that, the trade would have took me to a place like this, where like I'd be in a magazine. Like as soon as I saw it, like I sent a picture to all my family. I was like, check this out, dude. And they were all so happy for me. And it's crazy because doing what we do, fixing furnaces, giving people heat, giving people cooling,
Yeah,
is it's incredible where it can take you, man. That's what I try to tell um, people that are thinking about getting in the field, people that are early on in their careers, is like you give this trade everything that you can, and really put yourself first as far as your education and providing a good experience for your customers. I mean, it can give you so much. It really can.
no, that's awesome, man. It's cool that you have that. And like my parents too, when I was in the first one, they wanted copies and stuff, and I was like, yeah, I'll get you one.
Oh
It's
yeah, I
just
sent
it's
like
just a
7 copies.
yeah, I was like, it's just a cool thing to do, right? I
Yeah.
appreciate Ben for doing this stuff because it's stuff that we wouldn't normally get.
Mm-hmm.
So
Totally, dude. Yeah, it was a crazy experience, man. I don't think I'll ever forget that trip to HR, or even the tactical award show, man. It was incredible, especially too, like just getting together with everybody, everyone else hyping you up. Like all the friends I've known for a while through social media, and they're all like, oh, there you are, man. That's so sick. And it's a crazy feeling. I can't really even express to you like how awesome it is. Obviously, but
yeah,
it was a crazy feeling. It really was.
oh, it's cool. And like I said, like we got to talk there, and then we got to talk at the expo. And
Mhm.
honestly, this year I wasn't too concerned with visiting all the different
Oh yeah, me
booths and
either.
stuff. I was just like, I wanted to go hang out with people, right? So like I saw you
Yeah,
guys a lot. I went over to because I know Subco always has people there, so
yeah.
that was my main concern, and I loved it. I enjoyed it. I wish I could have gone out a little bit more, but man, my
Mhm.
back was hurting, my feet were killing me. So, and
Yeah.
it was a little cold too.
Dude, horrible. That's crazy cold. That's a whole nother
It
type
it
of cold.
yeah, it warmed up. Like it was getting better as the days went, but then it got rainy too and wet. So it wasn't the best
Yeah.
time. I was a little bit in shock the first night because I've never seen like real snow. So I know you're used to it probably, but I wasn't.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the hell is this? And it never
Yeah.
melted. I was like, damn. Because like
Yeah.
the snow we get is like once every like 10 years, once a decade. But it's like you have to see it like either in the middle of the night or early in the morning because like when that sun comes out, it all melts. Like it's all gone.
Yeah.
And that's all we get.
Yeah, that's how it is here in Denver too. Like a lot of people, like when I was first gonna move to Denver, like, oh, why would you move there? Like they get so much snow and it's so cold. Denver, like it'll snow like 6 inches and be gone like the next day because it gets warmer during the day.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
I've heard rumors that like, oh, because you're higher up, you're closer to the sun and melts faster. I don't know if any of that's true, but it feels like it because when the sun comes out, it feels like it melts off pretty fast, and it does stay pretty warm here. We'll get like really really cold, like cold snaps here, but it's really not too bad. And it's funny too because I was talking to Ben Thompson, HVAC Strong. I was like, yeah, man, you're probably used to this cold. He's like, no. this cold here in Chicago is a new type of cold. It's like a wet cold here.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because yeah, he's up in Canada.
I figured the same thing. Now the difference, I don't know about the whole cold thing, but like the difference for us, well, no, it does deal with the cold too. Is like down here is our humidity and a lot of different things that we deal with where I'm at,
Mm-hmm.
to where I'm pretty confident our heat is different from even like North Texas heat. Like there's a
Yeah,
difference. And
for
I'm
sure.
by beaches and all that stuff. Like I get a lot of humidity. And I know I shared it one time with I think it was Jay, HVAC Jay, which is the
Yeah,
he's from Canada.
Canadian. Yep.
So when I sent him well, I think I shared it in a story or something. Like it was like my weather app. And he's like, "What is that humidity? What is that dew point? Like, what the hell's going on down there?" And
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, it's like a certain temperature, but it's way hotter than that. Like, there's always like a feels like temperature. It's always like 10 degrees hotter
Mm.
than what it says it is, and it's just crazy. Like, and then we get pretty cold weather when it is cold. Right, this year we didn't really get a good winter, but when it is cold, it's the same thing. It's just because of the environment and stuff. It's very
Mhm.
windy here. I was surprised that I didn't get a lot of wind in Chicago, but I don't know if it's because we were in the city or something.
Yeah.
But that's what I was worried about, because
Yeah.
the wind is what makes it worse. And like down here, we get a crap load of wind. So like when it's
Yeah.
cold here, it feels pretty cold.
It's funny you say that because I feel like it was super windy there. Me and
Was it?
Adam, yeah, me and Adam Wolf HVAC, we were rolling around together for the majority of the trip, but we like parked in this parking garage. We couldn't find it, and I did not wear like a beanie or anything, and I just thought that wind was whipping, man. It was pretty gnarly. I feel like
Was it during the day or at night?
it was during the day.
Oh man, I didn't feel it. I don't know. Unless I'm just comparing it to the wind we get here, because the wind here is like
Yeah.
crazy. Like we don't I
Mm,
don't get we don't get like tornadoes or anything like that. Like it
yeah.
rarely happens here, but like we always get like a tornado warning or a hurricane warning,
Yeah.
and that wind is crazy.
Yeah. That's how it was back home too.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm sure you understand. Um, but yeah, I mean that's something I always tell people. I'm like, it depends on where you're at, because I'm in Texas. Texas is a big state. North Texas, South Texas kind of has a different version of like hot and cold. So
Yeah.
it wasn't Chicago wasn't horrible, but I also like covered up really well. And
The next year in Orlando is gonna be nice.
oh, it's so much better. I did not want to go. I honestly didn't want to go to Chicago. And then
Yeah.
Ben told me about the nomination. And I was like, crap. So I couldn't miss it. I think I read that you're 4 years in the trade, right?
Yep, I started in July of 2019, so I'm coming up on 5 years.
And how did you get into the trades? Did you go to school for it? Did you get into it on purpose or by accident?
I actually fell into an accident. It's actually a pretty funny story. So I don't know if you know Total Mechanical Solutions or if you've heard of them. Those
Yeah.
are those are my boys. Those are some of my best friends. So we actually grew up together. A small town outside of Kansas City called St. Joseph. We moved out here together because we were big snowboarders. We were best friends growing up, and he was in HVAC for I want to say about 4 years at that point. So we moved out to Denver because we just want a fresh start. We want to throw ourselves out there, do some more snowboarding. And so he was doing HVAC at the time. He got a job at a pretty big company. They're one of the biggest companies in the United States. I don't know if you've heard of them. They're called Service Experts. They're massive, massive company. I want to say they've got hundreds of locations. So he worked for a huge
Okay.
company. When I first got here, I didn't have a career. I didn't have anything. When I was 16, I worked at a hotel until I was 18, and then I worked as a delivery driver for a Chinese restaurant until I was 19. Then we moved out here, and then I just picked up the first job I could. I was working like security or just really whatever job I could because being in a new city, I need
Yeah.
money quick. So I just grabbed the first job I could, worked there for a couple months, and then I remember coming home and he was like, "Hey man, you should come work with me, man. We need some hands." And he's really one of a kind technician. Colton knows his stuff. He's really good, and so I knew that like he could 100% give me the job because if he said, "Hey, we're gonna hire this guy," we're gonna get hired. And he was just an install at the time, but that's how much they trusted him, is because they could just, if Colton said something, it was going. So he got me my first job in the HVAC, and he was my lead for a year. The company went downhill because it was a massive corporation. You know, they brought in people from out of state to start run the company and pension numbers, and we started losing technicians, we started losing sales guys, we started losing everybody. So we worked there for, I want to say, a year, maybe like a year and a half, and then he went and started Total Mechanical Solutions, him and his brother.
Oh, okay, okay.
And they were fresh, so I went and grabbed the first job that I could find. I had a buddy that was working at True Heating and Cooling, which is in Westminster. Went interviewed with them, and I was honestly really impressed with the management and the boss. My boss, his name is Justin. He's really one of a kind mentor, and you know, he's made me everything that I am. You know, like I mentioned earlier, no expense when it comes to training. I mean, any training that comes up, I get it. And as far as like any kind of call, you know, he's like, hey, you're gonna go do this. He's like, I'm gonna walk you through it. So he's been really one of a kind mentor, and really made me who I am. But that's how I got in the trade. Kind of fell into it, and those boys really helped me out and really set my career up. So it's pretty awesome.
So that's the one that you work for is True, right?
Yep. Yeah, I work for
That's
True.
the one that you had the social media going for before you changed or went to Snow King, right?
Yeah, and that's kind of funny because so last AHR, I told Justin, he's my boss, he's the owner of the company. I was like, hey, dude, like we should go to AHR. This is last year, 2023. And I was like, dude, let's
Yeah.
go. He's like, dude, I'm down. Let's go. And I went there and I saw like all the social media people, and they were like doing their own thing. I was like, dude, I was like, I want to make a social media like that. That seems sick.
Yeah.
And so I started a company, or I started the Instagram page, and I was like, I don't really know what to make. So I was like, Justin, I'll make one for the company. He's like, yeah, I'm cool, dude. Whatever you want to do. Like he's super laid back. He's like, yeah, man, just do whatever you want. I don't care. And so I just started True Heating and Cooling Instagram page, and I started just posting my work, whatever I wanted to post. And it came to a certain point where I was like, well, you know, the page is doing pretty good, and you know, the Visionaries wanted me to join, and so I was like, I'm gonna make this a little more personable for
Okay.
for Logan. And I talked to him. He's like, yeah, man, do whatever you want, you know, because he's very adamant about making sure that we're putting ourselves first. And he's like,
Sure.
honestly, like the Instagram page doesn't really do anything for the company. You know, it really
Yeah.
doesn't. He's like, yeah, man, do your thing, do it. So I was like, cool. Well, I'm going all in. Then it's Snow King.
Yeah, man, because and I understand because I tried doing mine for my business and it didn't work. I mean, you all do residential, so maybe like if you really invested in it, like I don't know, running ads or something, it could
Yeah.
work if you need the work, but it didn't work for me. Like I needed to get like restaurant owners, managers, like that kind of
Yeah.
audience, and I wasn't getting it through like Facebook and stuff.
Yeah.
So then I kind of had to pivot and I made it more personal, right, to me and what I do. And I still throw in like what we do at work as a group and stuff, but like it's more about me, right? And the more I started posting, the more I was comfortable showing more of what I do
Mhm.
and everyday stuff or whatever, talking more. I never used to talk in my videos, or I didn't like to, and you know, it grew from there. So I understand
Yeah.
that whole side of it. So then when you changed it to kind of brand it for yourself, that's when you were linking up with the Visionaries then,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Totally.
How did that go? Like they came to you and recruited
Yeah.
you like an
I,
Avenger
I
or something?
I don't know. I mean, no, I've been tight with Efren and Adam and Garrett for a while. You know, they just reached out to me and I was like, hey man, like we love what you're doing. You know, you're killing out here, and here I am. I'm just like, dude, I don't know what I'm doing. You know, I'm just, you know, I try to be as humble as possible. I'm like, I'm just doing what I do on, you know, every day. Try to do as good as I can, you know, and that's pretty much it, man. Like they just reached out to me, and it's been awesome. You know, those are all really good guys. And you know, they all build each other up, and it's solid what they have going on for sure.
That's a good group of guys. I know and I've been able to catch you all now. I basically got the last member to come on the show now because I've had the other guys, even the other members that you guys had or that they had come on the show, and I was anxiously waiting to try and set this up so we could have the complete Visionaries get their own episode. And yeah, man, those guys, they're a good group of guys. Adam does really well with the whole editing his short form content. I do enjoy that. He gets really into it. Efren is a smart dude. Really well spoken, knows a lot of things, you know. And then and I've known you since you were basically the page for True Heating and Cooling, and Garrett too does amazing work. A lot of good guys. Hey, but I was the same way too. Like you being humble and kind of doing your own thing, like that's not everybody has that. That's a good thing to have, because I never imagined being where I'm at now. I don't even know what the hell I'm doing with podcasting, but I'm doing it now. Right. But I was like, I'm nobody. I don't know what I'm doing half the time. I just know what I need to do. And my dad used to get frustrated with me because he's like, what's the problem? What are you going to do? Because he doesn't know HVAC. So he's always leaning on me for that stuff. And then sometimes he'll ask me even after the fact, what was it? What was the problem? I was like, I don't know how to explain it. I was like, but I did it in my own way. I fixed it. And a lot of it was learning as I went. I don't claim to know everything. You know, you're going to learn being out in the field and making your mistakes and stuff. So like all that comes with it. Social media is similar. You just got to put yourself out there. So I've been enjoying seeing all the new guys come out, right? Whether it's on YouTube, Instagram. I'm trying to do the TikTok thing too. Just seeing more people post, because that's the cool thing. That's how you connect. I get to know who you guys are, so that when we go to these events, you know, we can just hang out and chat. So really cool seeing your page pop up and do more of like Logan stuff, like you said.
Yeah.
I've actually had managers that watch my videos, because I go up to I go into a restaurant sometimes, and the manager, I'll be talking to them, and they're like, oh, by the way, I love your videos. I watched them. I think it's really cool. And I'm like, oh shit, you know, they're watching my stuff. But I the way I work, it's all honest work. I never try to rip anybody off.
Yeah.
I cover myself in every way, but like, it's weird because the more subscribers I got and all that, the more I realized, you know, anybody could be watching, whether that's managers that I work with. A lot of local guys have hit me up that they watch me, and it's like, it's crazy because this goes out to everybody.
Yeah.
And some people don't care. Some people don't care. Some people do, because like what I was saying is, like, the YouTubers that I've seen, a lot of them have to get permission from their boss to do that YouTube stuff. And then sometimes they get in trouble for it. I've seen YouTube channels pulled, and they have to give an explanation that they're not going to be doing YouTube anymore because their boss got after them for something, you know? So
yeah,
you got to be careful.
Which I get that at the same time too, because like, you know, sometimes if someone's like on the video, you know, turning a 1 hour job into a 3 hour job because they're trying to film it. I get that 100%.
It's hard.
As you know, sometimes though, it's quick though. It's just like, boom, boom, boom. I'm gonna set this up while I do this. And, you know, it's not really time consuming at all. So I do get both sides of that, but at the same time, it's like, you're not harming anyone, you know. And I would love to turn my channel or my Instagram into a point to where it's like, say that I want to do like a boiler breakdown, deep clean. Like I can show it to a homeowner, like, hey, you know, this is what this looks like, this repair looks like.
Yeah.
And you know, it can make it sometimes even easier to sell something, because you know, it might be like, well, they have no clue what this looks like, what this repairs, or what I'm even trying to recommend. But hey, check out this YouTube video I did, because this is kind of what the entire process looks like. This is what it entails, all that good stuff. And I think that would be sweet. I'm not quite there yet, but maybe one day.
Yeah, I mean, I make mine just for. I was really into doing it, like editing and all that, and I just wanted to show like the work that we did, and it is beneficial to a company or to you showing the customer, because you can do even something as simple as before and after photos, right? You do a change out or a maintenance, whatever it is, and you take a before and after photo. That's really good to show to the customer what was done. advertise for business and stuff like that. And then and what you were mentioning about the video, I think Mechanical Environments was another one that they use Company Cam to keep track of all their stuff, and they actually make videos to the customer, like this is what we did, or this is this or that, and they use it to their advantage. And they said they love it. The customers really enjoy that. So I mean, this thing is like it's social media, it's content, but like it's beneficial to the business too, because I've seen that side of it too. Like I said, you can show before and after, or keep the customer involved. Especially for me, I don't want to be taking a customer up to the roof, but if I can show them a different way, of the work that was done, that's a good thing.
Yeah, and there's that whole other side of like helping our brothers and sisters, that are out here doing what we do. Any way that I can help anyone, which, like I said, I don't know, as much as some of these other guys, but one thing that I've always lived by is that you can learn something from everybody, no matter who it is, how long they've been doing this. Everyone has that one little tip, that can be beneficial to anybody. And I think that's one of the big reasons too why I wanted to do this too, is like this trade has given me so much. It's changed my life. I went from not having a career to having a career, having multiple friends, having a future. It's given me everything, and any way that I can help someone else to, whether it's make their job easier, make their job better, or even make them more money, I think that's the whole reason why I wanted to do it too.
Yeah, and that's something that took me, or I thought was kind of crazy, was like I said, when I started posting, it was for business. Did not work out that way because of the audience. But that audience was people from other countries, other states. And I was like, holy crap. Like, I'm getting people from all over the world, basically. Then I start getting those messages where it's like, your video helped me with this, or help me with that, or it inspired me to get into the trade, or it motivates me. And I'm like, holy crap. So at that point, I just couldn't stop. So then I kept it going for the messages that I was getting and the people that it helped. Because like I said, I don't know everything. I don't I don't think I could ever be like a teacher or anything for this trade, but like I can show you what I've done, the stuff that I do, like what works for me. And if that helps you, that's great, right? Like I said, getting those messages and talking to those people, because I've actually had some of those people on my podcast, just because we start talking in messages and stuff, because like they'll have a question, or they'll refer to a video that I did, and then we start chatting about things. So that's the best part about doing all this stuff, is helping people. And this podcast is just an excuse so I can sit down and talk to everybody. So I mean, I enjoy it.
Yeah, I love it.
But I will say that the whole YouTube thing, I used to take a lot of pride in my work, or I thought I did. The YouTube thing, showing my whole like call sometimes, it kept me accountable, right? Because I'm like, I'm putting this out in public, and I'm gonna get torn apart if I do something wrong, or if I'm lazy, right? So like it made me accountable, and it made me a better tech for it. And like you said, there's so many people online now that I've learned from everybody. I've learned from Jeff. I've learned from even some of you visionary guys, anybody that I'm scrolling through and I see something interesting, or I go to my YouTube feed, and if guys are doing calls, I'll start binge watching, and I'm like, holy crap, that's an easier way to do this, or that's a better way to do that. Oh, I like their tool setup, or something like that. And I take something from everybody. Like that's the best part too, is like you're always going to be learning, getting better, and all that. And social media has made it that we can help each other out too.
Yeah, totally.
So you've never done commercial then, right? You've only done residential?
I've done like package units and like RTU, like small RTUs, like here and there. Nothing really though. Trying to think. My last company used to do all of the Hobby Lobbies. I don't know if they have Hobby Lobby in Texas. It's pretty much like a home.
Yeah, we have one. I think they just built another one.
Yeah, so like we used to have the contractors do all the RTUs. I didn't like it that much because like back then when I was like shadowing someone, we'd go there for a service call, and they'd be like, oh yeah, one of the units isn't working. And they're like, okay, cool. You know which one? Nope. You know which thermostat it is? Nope. So we spent 3 hours like trying to figure out
Yeah,
which
they
unit it was.
never know.
And I love that human interaction that you get to have on a call. It's like, especially like helping someone, going out there, they don't have heat. This grandma doesn't have heat, and you get to go out there, give her heat or give her cooling, and really have that one-on-one interaction. Don't get me wrong, sometimes it sucks. You get some crazy
Yeah.
customer, it's like, oh
The
my
the
God,
one I always the one I always
yeah.
picture is the one that Adam did with that old man,
Yes,
where he
yes.
took apart the blower.
Oh
Oh
my
man, I
God,
was like,
Adam,
how
what are
did
you
you
doing?
not? I was like, how did you not lose your cool there, man?
Yeah. No, it doesn't happen that often, but it does happen. Yeah, I think that video all the time. He's like, "Oh my God, Adam, what are you doing? Are you gonna put that back
Yeah,
together?"
it was an awesome video, but like I was
Yeah.
like, it drove me nuts at the same time.
He's like, "What are you doing? I'm cleaning this."
Yeah, he stayed so calm.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was gonna be my other question is like if you had a preference on residential or commercial. So you prefer, which is like what I got, I think from Adam and some other guys too, is like
Yeah.
in residential you get that customer interaction. Sometimes they'll hang around the whole time, as long
Yeah.
as they're not being weird or rude or anything, it's fine, right?
Yeah.
I assume you chit chat with the customer,
Yeah.
things like that.
Yeah. 95% of the interactions are cool. It's like, "Hey, this
Okay.
is my issue I'm having. I'll take you down the equipment. Let me know when you're done or what needs to be done. Come and find me." So like 95% of the time, it's cool, and it goes smooth. We get it done. Most people are like more than willing to leave a review. They want to help me out in any way they can. So a lot of the interactions are cool. And whenever I see like your videos or even like Pat Commercial Kitchen Chronicles, like I think that stuff is cool. I think that's sick. I definitely wouldn't be opposed to dabbling in commercial in the future, but honestly, I don't have like a burning desire or anything like that. I'm pretty happy in residential.
Yeah, and I always tell people and it could be just like a personality thing, right? Because I like being alone a lot. So I like
Yeah,
being on the roof, being alone. Even if it's 3 hours chasing down a unit, trying to figure out which is which. To me, it's all billable. I'll deal with it. I'll do whatever you guys want to pay for.
yeah,
Uh, that is the thing though. The whole thing of tracking a unit down, like when we get
yeah.
those big jobs on the roof, they never know what unit is what. I always have to go in
Right,
there. I always have to go in there and label everything, and then hopefully they don't mess with the labels or do anything. But
right.
yeah, that's the thing. And residential around. Okay, so around here, everything is in attics. Are you in attics, basements? What do you guys got?
Basements, bro. I haven't
Okay,
been in a
see
crawl space or attic in weeks.
if it was basements, maybe I would want to, but like I'm not getting in an attic. I don't even like getting in my own attic, so
Yeah,
I just won't do residential.
yeah. I went to an attic, I think, maybe like 3 weeks ago, and that was
Yeah.
yeah. We never do get attics or crawl spaces. Sometimes we will, and honestly, like I don't have a problem with it because like it's like more than every 15, 20 calls, so it's not that big of a deal. But yeah, a lot of times it's basements or even like open basements. There's a lot of open basements, like a lot of new construction basements where you've got 30
Oh, okay.
feet across all the sides. So it's like you can get in there and do whatever you need to do. So yeah, all basements. That's why Adam moved out here. He moved like 15 minutes from me, and
Oh yeah, he
yeah,
finally settled in over there.
yeah, he's liking it. And yeah, he hasn't been in too many attic or crawl spaces yet. So
Well, he's coming from I know he's coming from Cali, right? So like
yeah,
it's a
LA,
pretty big climate change.
yeah,
It's nice if you're in a well, basements are nice. And then the weather is probably decent. So then you learned on the job, I'm assuming, right?
yes. So I did install for a year and a half. I think I was a lead for I want to say 6 months. I was a lead, and then I moved into maintenance because we lost our maintenance guy, and we had enough installs to where my boss Justin was like, "Hey, you want to get into maintenance?" I was like, "Let's do it, dude." So moved into maintenance, did maintenance for a year, which was cool because I got a lot of the fundamentals of taking amp draws on the inducer, and my big goal was like I told myself from day one I wanted to try to do things the right way. So like from day one, I was trying to be as thorough as possible. Like I was taking blower amps, I was taking inducer amps, I was really
Okay.
getting in there checking igniter ohms. Like I was really going hard. And then so for my first year doing maintenance, did really good. Moved into service. I've been doing service 2 years now. My first year was mainly just AC and furnaces, and quickly moved to where this is now my been doing boilers now a year and a half. That was a pretty big learning curve, and like I mentioned earlier, my boss is honestly I really can't thank him enough because he was a really good mentor. And he's not going to be like your average boss. It's like, oh, go get this done. You got another call after that one, blah blah blah. No, he's like very supportive. Like, hey, you get out there, send me some pictures, call me. I'm gonna walk you through this because we have a lot of boilers out here. I doubt you have any in Texas. But it's
Nope.
heating your house with hot water, super super cool. And I really wanted to learn them, and he's really good at boilers. And he was like, hey, I'm gonna send you this boiler call. Call me when you get there, get some pictures, let's work through this together. So he's really taught me everything I know on all of them. And he's been a super awesome mentor. And it's funny too, because like my dad, I'd call my dad during like my first year of service because my first year of service was pretty tough. It's like I got some subcooling, I got some superheat, it's doing something, it's freezing over, whatever. And I'd call my dad like after a long day, and I'd be like, dude, like this today was rough, bro. And my dad would always be like, trial by fire, son. He's like, you get
Yeah.
out there. He was like, throw yourself in it. He's like, you'll never learn better. And so I've had a lot of support going into it, and especially like my boss, just really helping me out. And he always wants to take me to that next level, always help me level up. So service has been great. I love service, and I think now I'm getting to the point to where it's just fun. It's fun to go on a call. It's like I'll figure that out. Like whether I got
Yeah.
to call someone or I got to pull up the manual and really dive deep, I'll go figure it out. So it's a lot of fun, really.
That's awesome. And you doing that early in your career, being thorough and doing all that, because it's harder to do it later, right? Because it's all like habits. Like, do you have good habits or bad habits? I've had that issue with guys that I work with because I went to school for it. So I knew what to do. I knew this and that. I knew what way we should be doing things.
Mm-hmm.
Now I didn't know everything, right? You run into some weird stuff out there in the field doing service, right? There's not everything's by the book.
Yeah.
So like
Yeah.
like the certain things like the vacuum, the purging nitrogen, all that stuff that I knew, I had to kind of train some guys that were not brought up doing that, right? And they want to do
Yeah.
things the other way. Or I'm like, did you check all your, basics first, your airflow, all this other stuff? So the good thing is if you can build good habits and build them early, because
Mm-hmm.
they get easier as you go by. Because like I started doing
Mm-hmm.
maintenance, right? And I started checking everything head to toe. The first time you do it, you're not gonna like it. As you do it, it's gonna be like you're dragging it out, and
Yeah.
it's cumbersome sometimes, right? You're doing a lot, or you're trying to check everything and make sure you're good.
Yeah.
You get better and you get quicker
You do.
every time that you do it. So like it's just about, I always tell people it's about building those good habits, because
Yeah.
that's what they are. They're habits. Once you start doing them, it's just going to be second nature, or it's not going to be a big deal when you go out and do it later. So
Totally.
that's
Yeah.
a good thing.
Yeah, and I'll tell you though, like for all the people listening, I was not like your smart kid in high school, dude. I was like your average C student. Like I consider myself I was decently smart. I don't think I really applied myself in school or anything. Like I was not mechanically driven at all. Like don't get it twisted. I was not mechanically driven at all. I never worked on anything because I know you used to work on like cars and stuff all the time when you were younger. That was not me. My dad does auto body, and he would try to get me out there to go work on the cars, and I was not going, dude. I could not work with my hands at all. One thing that I always tell like people coming into the field is like, dude, if you can take it, you can make it. Because if you can get out there on the job site and learn, if you can take the criticism and take the hard work, man, you really can make it. Like I remember one of my first weeks on one of the installs, dude. They told me to go put zip ties on all the insulation for the line set. I went up there, put all the zip ties on backwards. so none of them locked. So it's just like, man, I didn't know a single thing. Like even whenever I was 18, 19, before I came in the field, like I don't know, you turn on hot water and you had hot water. I didn't know you had a hot water heater, or it's like when you wanted heat, you turn up the thermostat and it came on. I didn't know what like all this stuff was. So like you don't always have to be mechanically driven to get in this field, because this field can make you mechanically driven. Like you look at a piece, you figure out how to take it apart, how it works, what it does, how this works, where's the heat transfer, and you sort of pick up the things as you go. As far as like bad habits early in the beginning, I didn't really know what I was doing. So it's like, they told me flow nitrogen, you flow nitrogen, and that's
Yeah.
that's the only way to do it. It's like that's what you have to do. And so I think Colton, the Total Mechanical, he really helped me out, like to make help me to do things the right way from day one. From as a day one installer, I was taking static, and he really helped me to kind of build my career as the standard. It's like I would never braze without flow nitrogen. It's just like, that's like, what are you doing? Like you're not a hack. You can flow nitrogen. It's not that hard. So a lot of those habits, yes, I think that I did have a huge learning curve as far as like not knowing a single thing. I didn't know how to put zip ties together. I didn't know how to turn a wrench. I didn't know socket sizes. I don't know what 5/16. What is that? I mean, I couldn't even read a tape measure, dude. Like I couldn't do any of that. But like I said, if you can take it, you can make it, man. If you can learn this stuff, you can get down there, you can work hard, you can figure all this stuff out, and you can make a good living for yourself for sure.
Yeah, man, that's good advice there. I I usually tell people the whole habit thing, and then like just getting better every day, because it's not overnight that you pick this
Yeah,
up. Uh,
definitely.
I I had some basics of taking apart things and stuff like that growing up. I was more into like tech kind of stuff, but I I remember getting into the trades with my family, because it was my dad and his brothers at the time, and I would ride along with one of them, and they would report back to my dad. And I took offense one time because they were like, "Well, he's not," like they would just be straight up, and they'd be like, "Well, he did good. He listened, not too mechanically inclined. He didn't do this right or that right. Like as far as like using the tools and stuff." I was like, "Okay, I'm gonna get better, and I'll show you guys, later down the line that I got this." So
Yeah,
you don't pick it up overnight, and
you don't.
it's very easy. Just I mean, it helps when you have a good mentor, somebody that trains you. So
Hmm.
that's why I love seeing the guys, especially everybody on social media that wants to help. The guys that do the training for their apprentices, taking people under their wing and showing them. That's great, because that gets everybody off on the right foot,
Yeah,
and you can be better quicker, and you can, like, you're only 4 years in and you're doing a lot of stuff now too. You're doing service and everything, and that helps, because before I think it took longer for a technician to be good,
yeah.
just because like they weren't trained well enough, or
Was it?
some older techs didn't want to help out, or anything like that. So it's good to see a
Yeah,
change, and hopefully going forward we have way more help between each other, and just get out there and do it. Get out there and try it. Turn some
yeah,
wrenches, and that's my favorite thing about it, is going out there and figuring out things that I've never done before, new equipment, new units, being able to just sit in front of it and figure it out, because that's something that I got
yeah,
from my dad, because he was like that, and it's something that I get a lot of fun out of this trade.
yeah, yeah. No, totally, dude. And that's the big part with like the visionaries too, is like, I feel like for me, like personally, like there was a big thing for a long time, even like before I got in the trade, where like senior techs were always like gatekeeping information. And it's just like, yeah, I
Yeah.
can't stand that. Like, why would you not want to see another person in this field succeed? We're all in the same boat. We're
It
trying to do the best thing we can, and I hate gatekeeping info, dude. I don't know why people do that.
it's so weird, because when I came into it, I was kind of in between that gap, because I started pretty young too, in my early 20s, and everybody just saw each other as competition. Like that's
I don't
all it
get it.
was. I hated it, right? I hated talking to other techs, because it was never going to be a good conversation. like from other companies, or even
Yeah.
in your own company sometimes. It was always competition, and then later on, it got better. You make friends.
Hmm.
It's always good to make friends in your line of work, whether it's another company, another trade. Everybody helps everybody out when you can kind of like network and get involved with everybody. Because we get plumbers and electricians that give us work. I give work to them. I got a
Yeah.
buddy that does residential. I give him work. He gives me work. And then like I have people that I can call. Maybe not all the time, but like there's been guys that I've been able to call from other companies, or
Hmm.
a guy that works like at a McDonald's or something like that. And then we can kind of they can kind of help me figure things out too. So that's what it's about to me.
Truly. Yep.
That was a lot of good advice, a lot of good things to end on. That's one of my closing questions, is the whole advice thing, and I think you nailed it
Yeah.
there. Is there anything else you want to close out on? We've been almost an hour and a half. I don't want to keep you too long.
Honestly, man, I think that was pretty solid. I mean, the biggest thing that was one thing that the advice that I could give is for the people that are new into the trade. Watch one big thing that was bad for me was an ego, because I feel like I was good at something. Your ego is gonna catch you up so fast.
The same thing happened to me.
Always stay humble. You don't know anything. You can always learn from everyone else, and keep on trucking, man. Every day you're gonna learn. And remember, if you're not measuring, you're just guessing. Wise word from NCI. So
Oh yeah. All right, man. Well, I appreciate you for coming on the show. I'll leave all your information in the description. And yeah, thank you again for coming on, man. Appreciate.
I really appreciate it, Adrian. It was an awesome experience, and it was sweet.
Yeah, it was good chatting with you, man. And everybody watching and listening, I appreciate you guys for coming out, and I'll see you guys next time.